Welcome to the Writing Corner with Hope.
And Ox.
And Ox King. Sweet baby. Flannery O'Connor once said something along the lines of, "The truth does not change according to our ability to stomach it." Sweet, faithful Brianna said this to me over the phone a few days ago as we comforted and counseled one another, and it's been in the front of my mind ever since. His body language shifted from ease to rigidity in the pause. I told him that even though our time apart had done wonders for me, that I still loved him, and that I felt our partnership was worth fighting for. He spoke quickly and neutrally as he said, "I don't ever see that happening for us. I've been doing well alone, and I think we should keep that going. I have just moved on, you know?" Months of silence, a vulnerable confession, stiff rejection. Knowing that he had intentionally avoided me the week before, I asked him, "Hey, I've been pretty intentional to not run into you out of respect. Do I need to keep doing that? Would it affect you emotionally to see me?" "No," he said flatly. "It would not affect me at all." He chuckled uncomfortably as I walked away from him, holding in my tears. Heart, meet armor. She said to me that it made sense, the questions, the pain, and the stupidity that I felt processing my final talk with, baby, can I have a fake name? Matt. The questions, the pain, and the stupidity I felt processing my final talk with Matt last week. She said, "I'm sure you're asking yourself what is wrong with you, or what you did wrong here to still have such intense feelings while he supposedly doesn't. But he's gaslighting you. You came to him with complete honesty, opened yourself, and handed him your whole heart. So of course you are processing his response as though he was speaking from the same place, but he wasn't. You were speaking with his armor, not his heart." Such clear perspective. She is the dearest, kindest, most thoughtful woman. There have been times in my life that I've chosen to hold off confiding in her for fear, I believe, of the objectiveness of her advice. In love, she sees clearly, and this makes her so very trustworthy. So she says this to me, and it hits me square in the heart. Because I was so trustworthy as a partner, I never once questioned his trustworthiness in response. If I was honest about my difficult feelings, surely he was too. How many times have I felt so wounded in all kinds of relationships by this blind trust? I so value authenticity, the rawness of big feelings, the mess of complete honesty. Let me see the chaos in you so that you can know the depth of my love. And so many times I have been promised equal, honest communication with no follow-through. Not only no follow-through, but denial. What we had never meant anything, so I don't have to feel guilty for hurting you when it ends. Your feelings are not my fault. I didn't make you invest so heavily in this. This was never worth deep feelings, so it isn't a deep loss. We all want this elusive, promised truth sharing, right? We want to be loved in absolute fullness, which we know requires vulnerability. But when it comes down to it, we are all afraid, ashamed, or wounded. We often don't even see the walls we have crafted for ourselves, because for so long we have depended on them as a means of survival. The walls that hide our truth, the realest, most shocking, least put together parts of ourselves, begin to feel like our identity over time. We lie to each other because we lie to ourselves. And if you are a grand and empathetic, grace-extending lover, the way that I am, you do one of the following things in response to this particular brand of relationship shutdown. 1, You believe that a person is being truly honest with you. You believe that they really, truly are stronger and less sensitive than you, that they don't experience the same range of emotions that you do, and therefore it is your responsibility to overcompensate, to fix the situation, or heal on your own. You tend to make problems your fault, no matter who is to blame. You quickly believe that any negative response in you is an overreaction. You think, it isn't their fault that I'm such an emotional person. 2, just as you are acutely in touch with your own feelings, you are highly aware of the feelings around you. At times that looks like feeling the mood of the room, or at times that looks like picking up on subtle tones and expressions from individuals interacting with you. So you see the shadows of a person's truth that have been boarded up and silenced. You see a person carve a different reality for the world to see as they explain their perspective that you know isn't honest. Often this person claims to feel what they think they should feel about a situation, as opposed to how they truly do feel at their core, or will act in a way that creates an illusion of maturity, bravery, wisdom, etc. For example, someone will say to you, I really don't understand when people get angry during conflict. Anger is so foreign to me. If someone disagrees with me, I just put myself in their shoes. Even if I don't agree with them, I'm still able to understand enough to not feel anger. You hear this and smile because you know that this person really does try to empathize in conflict and truly does avoid anger. But this person isn't perfect. No one is. Surely he has felt anger during an argument before, even if that is an uncommon response in him. To say that this emotion is foreign would be an untrue statement. You think about the times that you have, in fact, seen glimpses of anger in him, but you believe the best about this person. Perhaps what I see as anger in him, he interprets as a fleeting frustration or annoyance. You see that his statement to you is 100% true, is not 100% true. But you say nothing, because chances are he is lying more to himself than he is to you. You assume that the only reason you can identify this is because you're such an emotionally sensitive human. You spend much of your time self-reflecting and growing in emotional maturity because you love to do so. Believing that this is an unfair standard to judge others by, you trust that he really has no idea that he has built protective walls around his heart, and that over time he will mature and identify the difficult truths inside himself, at which time he will become honest with himself and with you. This type of response, one of forgiveness, silence, and patience, is most common for me in long-term relationships. There's a space between two humans meant for vulnerability and intimacy. Someone does not honor the space by giving as much as they are receiving, and this impacts you. But you accept the reality and choose to continue sharing all of yourself, because after all, he asked you to. It is the most subtle type of rejection, meeting dishonesty with honesty. A partner silently communicates that you are not worthy to receive the same treasure that you are giving to them. Trust met with distrust, disguised, of course, as trust. You are a liar, but it isn't your fault. His behavior is rooted in survival, not maliciousness. I've carried a tremendous amount of rejection in partnerships for this reason. Believing the best and assuming that all humans are in active pursuit of personal growth, I assure you, many are not. I have waited. I've remained vulnerable while my partner stays protected, unchanged, and unwilling to acknowledge the power disparity at hand. So I'm easily tossed aside. I've carried rejection for believing myself to be too emotional as well. When you believe that something is wrong with you, that you are destined to love bigger than most and experience loss deeper than most, you hand all power to the ones that you love. You offer yourself and expect nothing in return because you believe that others don't have as much to give. If you were to reject someone, end a relationship, or find fault with a part of someone that genuinely is authentic and raw, this would certainly cause pain. However, if this person is who has only opened themselves to you 10%, they are very well guarded and face very little actual rejection. Of course, if you are rejected in this exact same way, but are 90% exposed, the pain you face is profound. You think, this person knew all of me and did not love me. Am I unlovable? Versus, this person hardly knew me. They couldn't love the true me even if they wanted to. Speaking from the heart to a man's armor. But the thing is, Matt lying to me out of a place of survival, telling me the same lies he's telling himself, does not make him any less of a liar. I waited a long time for him to discover things about himself that he never did, and I'm not sure that he ever will. All humans deserve time and space to discover themselves, to heal from the traumas that created walls to begin with, and to live authentically at their own pace. It is unkind to engage in an intimate, committed relationship with someone if you are not able or willing to offer to your partner what you expect in return. Whether he will admit it or not, he is an adult, and he experienced the budding of his feelings before choosing to shut them out. Whether or not he understands the full implication of things, he knew his emotional and relational tendencies. He said, I tend to grow complacent and lose interest after 6 months of dating a person. I applaud him for seeing this and communicating some of these things. But it is his responsibility to own them, to work on them, to understand them. He has pretended that these parts of himself are a non-factor and that he has moved on from our love so easily because he's strong or logical or just on to better things. He's acted as though he is above the pain of the loss, and he has denied the loss altogether. It is much easier to claim that a relationship meant little than to sit with the reality that he loved deeply, was frightened, shut himself off, and lost deeply. I see this. I see the way this mental construct is protecting him from pain. I see the way it helps him view himself more highly, and the way it's helped him have a vision for the future. I also see cruelty. His construct has denied my value as a partner and as a human. He has belittled me and rejected me and has made those feelings of rejection my fault. In ignorance, he is cruel. Matt is kindness through and through, but his unwillingness to know and face the uncomfortable parts of himself have proved him to be an immature partner. So I can approach him with forgiveness and understanding, as his intentions are absolutely pure, but I can approach myself with forgiveness and understanding too, because the rejection I feel is not my fault. I can love him and experience anger all at once. With the best intentions, he breached our boundaries and he broke our trust. Because like Flannery O'Connor says, the truth does not change according to our ability to stomach it. And that's it.